Hi Aram, how are you?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm also good, thank you. Okay, Aram, so we have three round here. First is HTML, CSS, then we will move to JavaScript and React. And all three round having multiple choice questions and theoretical question and logical question. Okay, it's
Okay.
it's 1 hour session. It will be goes beyond that, then it's okay.
Yeah, no
Okay,
problem.
okay, okay. Start with the MCQ question. So can you share your screen so everyone can
Yeah,
watch?
yeah.
Hmm. This is my first question to you.
Which
Oh,
attribute tells the browser to only download an image when it's near the viewport? Okay.
you can open one editor, so you can paste over there, so it will
Okay.
be easy to display everyone.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Uh,
Ash.
little, no problem. Little bit zoom. I need little bit zoom, not zoom out.
Okay.
Actually, it's not visible to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So please zoom
Ah,
it. Zoom your
is it,
screen.
now is it good?
One more, one more. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. So browser. Yeah, I think this would be loading equal to lazy. So we'll be
Hmm.
loading the image. So B would be the answer for this.
Okay, any reason?
So that attribute basically tells the browser that you need to only download the image once it is inside the viewport. So that's how it would
Yes,
work.
definitely, it's correct. Okay, one more question I just say to you.
Okay. Uh, it- okay. So which HTTP header is required for a page using okay to work? Okay. Header is required. XML, content security, strict. Okay. I think header. I think it will be inline only. You don't require any specific page for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely, you are correct.
Hmm.
One more I just shared.
Okay. In CSS, what does contain layout paint? Okay. Uh, Achieve. Okay. Forces GPU composition. Okay. Creates a new containing context, limiting layout paint to this element. Okay. Only affects paint but not layout. No, that's not correct. Shorthand for will change. No, that's also not true. It is going to create a new containing context. So B
Yes,
would be the correct answer for this.
yes, that's correct. One more for you.
Okay. Which is a valid area rule? Okay, area would be for
Hmm.
okay accessibility thing. Okay, so alert dialog, search box, main content, and switch. Okay, not a valid area rule. Okay, search box is okay. I think it's C. I'm not sure about this, but I think yeah, it would be main content.
Yes,
That is not a valid role.
because all three are having area role.
Mm.
That's why I see.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct. Okay, one more question. I'm just sharing. Yes.
yeah. Which CSS property can prevent cumulative layout shifts for images without fixed height? Okay. Okay, so I'm not setting the height to be fixed and I need to prevent the layout shift. Okay. I think in that case, yeah, overflow won't help in this. This is clip art. So we have to maintain the ratio for it. Aspect ratio would be the correct answer for this.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
One more to you. Word wrap is not working. I think this compiler.
Yeah, not sure why that is
Hmm.
happening. Okay.
Hmm.
What happens if two links? Okay, I have two links.
Hmm.
Upload tags, target. Okay, they're targeting the same resource. Okay.
Mhm.
So, okay, both should be used. Both trigger duplicate fetch. Browser fetch is one. Yeah, they will be combined and then first as one. C would be the answer for this.
Yes, correct. One more. Share to you.
It's pseudo class select elements currently being displayed as full screen. Okay. Um, Focus visible is not that. Active is for that. Yeah, it will. Okay, I'm pretty sure B, D are not the answers, but I've
Mhm.
never heard of document full screen, so it has to be like full screen. A.
Yes, correct. Your guess is also correct sometime. Okay, one more question I just shared. Actually, we have 10 multiple choice question for every topic. Then we will move to theoretical.
Okay. Hmm. In which case will picture element fall back to image when a media query fails? When type attribute is missing, taken that is valid, it will fall back. When browser doesn't suppose the source type, then again it will fall back. Yeah, it's all of the above. So, and when media query fails, yeah, again, so all of the above.
Yes. One more I just shared. Three line, last three line.
Oh, okay, okay. What is the default min width of flex items in a flex container? Okay, it is not. Yeah, it is auto only. Yeah, it will be a.
Yes, correct. The last question I just shared to you.
Okay. Okay. Referral policy, no referrer when downgrade. Okay. What does it mean? Okay. Never send referrer, send only on same protocol or higher. Okay. Always send full referrer. Strict query parameters. It's B. Always send only on same protocol or higher HTTPS.
Yes, it's correct. Okay, let's move to the theoretical part. HTML, CSS first. So explain critical rendering path optimization.
Critical rendering path optimization. Okay. Are we talking about the loading the critical CSS, that sort of thing?
No, it's regarding audit Chrome dev tools like this.
I'm not heard of it,
Okay,
so
you're not. No problem.
uh,
How browser handle shadow DOM in CSS scoping things?
okay. So Shadow DOM in
Mhm.
terms of like how does the
How
browser handle
browser
it?
work?
Okay, so we have like just like we have the HTML DOM, we have the CSS DOM as well. We call it, I think, CSS DOM or something.
Mm-hmm.
So in short, the browser maintains a hidden DOM subtree with encapsulation for markup, styles, and behavior. So
Okay.
that's like a lightweight DOM.
So
That's
which
what we
one
call it.
which one is first load? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. How the browser work?
Okay, so first would okay, so first we'll have the HTML. So
Mm-hmm.
basically it'll start going line by line in the HTML, and then if it encounters a a script tag, then it is
Mm-hmm.
going to load that, and it's going to stop there. It's going to load the script and then execute the script and then keep moving line by line. Now, if we want to prevent this behavior,
Mm-hmm.
let's say that script is dependent on the tags, then in that case we can use async and defer. those, what will do is, when it comes to async, what it's going to do is it's going to keep executing the HTML, and it is going to download the script in the
Mm-hmm.
background. As soon as the script is loaded, it is going to execute. Whereas in terms of differ, what's going to happen is it will keep like downloading all the scripts, but it will wait for the entire HTML to get executed. Then all the scripts will get rendered after that.
Yeah. Yes. Correct. Okay. Next question is compare like content visibility and contain for rendering isolation something.
Okay, so visible. Are we talking about the visibility none attributes?
Have you worked contain visibility something method?
No, no, not heard of that.
Okay. Okay. Can you build a three column responsive layout without using media query?
Three column responsive layout.
Responsive
Yeah,
layout.
we can do that. If we
Mm-hmm.
since it's a three column thing, it's a 1D thing. So if we use a
Mm-hmm.
flex, it will be by default have an auto width.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be reflex
Can you write
dynamic
codes
responsive.
here so I can check how do you?
Okay, writing a code for three columns
Mm-hmm.
for flexbox. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I'll have to change that to
No, I
HTML.
don't. It's not a run. It's just write it there.
Oh, okay, okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Let's just say
Mm-hmm.
we have a div, okay, and then let's
Mm-hmm.
close this div. Cool. Inside this, we will have, I'm just going to copy this. So we will have three div. Each, let's say this, we can call it as column one.
Mm-hmm.
This is column two. This would be column three.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we are going to give this class of maybe like column container. So column container, and all these will have the class as column. So this would be just column. Copy this. Okay. Okay. And then we can just simply make the column container to be display as flex.
Mm-hmm.
Display would be flex. So all these divs will become flex items, and flex items will have the width auto by default. So depending on the resolution of the screen, they are going to be responsive.
Yes, correct. What is CSS variable?
CSS variable. Okay, that's like a way of defining dynamic values. Like basically, you can define variables on a global level. Let's say I have a color, and there is a
Mm-hmm.
particular maybe hex code for which I'm using color in my application. So I can define that color on a variable globally, and then wherever I want to use that color, instead of putting the value, I can directly access it using that variable. So this basically minimizes redundancy, and then you can define it at one place and utilize it in all the places. That will also increase the consistency in terms of design.
Yes, correct. So have you used that variable in current project?
Yeah, yeah, I've used variables.
Okay. What's the difference between like DOM and BOM, browser object model,
DOM
and
and BOM.
mm,
Okay. So DOM would basically contain the entire HTML tree structure. So it will have the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript entire tree. Uh, Browser object model, I believe, will have the browser capabilities as well. I think it will have all the browser capabilities. For example, the set timeout and all those functionalities that are given by the browser will be inside the BOM.
yes, something similar. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Let's move to the JavaScript part. Uh, so before move to JavaScript part, I need to like introduce about yourself. Actually, I need to know how much experience you have. Based on experience, I need to ask JavaScript things.
Sure, sure, sure. So, I have 3+ years of experience
Mm-hmm.
as a front end developer, and yeah, mostly I worked on React and JavaScript in these 3 years.
Okay. So React also you having a 3 year experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So start with the multiple choice question first.
Okay.
As of now, it's a beginner friendly question I just asked. Now we will move to the advanced one. I
Okay.
thought you are around 1 year experience. That's why I'm asking like this.
Okay.
Okay, now just shared. Can you check?
Okay. So so we have a okay object get prototype of, and then inside this we have an async function, and then we are calling the constructor of it, and then we are accessing the name. Okay. Acha, and we are calling object. Okay. Get prototype. Okay. So what will be the proto of this is what we need to understand. Since it is an async function, the the output would be a async function.
Okay, yes,
Hmm.
correct. Okay, one more question I just shared.
Which statement is true about weak map? Okay. Keys can be string. Yeah, we can keep keys as string. Okay. Keys are garbage selected if no reference exists.
So have you used weak map?
Yeah, I've used weak map. I don't think that's going to happen. It supports iteration with
Mm-hmm.
for of. Yeah, it does that. It can be stringified. Yeah, it the only scenario in which the garbage collection would happen is that when that value is not accessible. So even if the key has no reference, you can access that key. So it's not going. The JavaScript is not going to clear that value. So P would be the answer for this.
Yes. What is garbage collection?
So basically, JavaScript has a functionality like JavaScript handles the memory by itself. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say I have a function, and then inside the function, I had certain values that I was using
Mm-hmm.
in that function. Now I executed that function, and it went into the call stack, created its context, and then executed, and then came out of the call stack. Now all the values within that functions are not required anymore. So keeping them in the memory is like unnecessary bloating up the memory. So what JavaScript is going to do is, so JavaScript contains all the values in a tree structure. So it is going
Mm-hmm.
to perform the mark and sweep algorithm, and it's going to check what are all the values that are accessible from a root level, and all the values it will mark, and then whatever values which are remaining, those will be garbage collected and removed since you cannot access them.
Yes, correct. Okay, one more question I have just shared to you. Yeah, that's one.
Okay. Okay, so promise will. Okay, so we have promise dot raise. Okay, and then we have a resolved one, and we have a rejected one. Okay, so raise is going to basically what it's going to do. It's going to check for the first settled value. Whatever first
Hmm.
settled value it gets, it will take whether it is rejected or it is resolved. So I think the first value, yeah. So promise dot resolve one. So it's going to get one.
No, it's C. Rejected with two.
Okay.
I think you don't see that promise dot reject
Yeah, so
things.
when promise dot raise takes promises, so it is basically going to capture the first resolved promise.
Hmm.
So it's going to go inside the array, and then the first index is promise dot resolve one. So this is the promise that is getting settled first. So yeah, I still think it's A because the answer should be A, I think.
Okay, you can deep dive after that, but it's rejected
Okay.
with two.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, next question I just shared to you.
Okay, flat infinity does what? Okay. So flat is basically going to flatten a nested structure, and the parameter basically defines to what depth the nesting structure would be flattened. So for example, if I pass array.flat 0, then it's going to flatten nothing, and it's going to return the array as it is. Since we are passing infinity, that basically I'm saying that no matter what level of depth I have, just flatten everything. So the answer would be B, flattens to any depth.
Yes, correct. One more question I just shared.
Okay, so we have hmm, so we have A, okay, and then x equal to 1, then we have B equal to A. Okay, we've done a shallow copy. Okay, and then what we are doing is we are assigning A with x to, okay, and then we are logging it. Okay, so A has 1, and then, okay, and then A, and then B of x. So we've changed A, but it B is still referencing to the older object, which is x colon 1. So the
Mhm.
answer would be 1.
Yes, correct. Yeah, one more question I just shared.
Which scheduling phase executes process. Okay, next a callback in. Okay. So between time and then event low executes process. Next step callback. Okay. I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, it's before micro tasks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next question I just shared to you.
Okay. Symbol dot for key. Okay, and then symbol key. Okay, they will differ. Why? Symbol is going to create a unique identifier.
Mhm.
Okay, but this is going to give the name to that key. So even though we've passed the same name, okay, hmm, and we've, okay, symbol dot for is there, that is for the global, and symbol dot key would be defined locally. Okay. Yeah, so the former uses global registry. Yeah. So symbol dot for is going to define globally, and that would be locally. So
Mhm.
if we are defining symbol locally, so we can have two symbols with the same parameter passed to it, but they will be treated as different symbols. Whereas if you're defining like symbol dot for key globally, then even if you create another one with the same key, it will be treated as the same symbol.
Yes, correct. Okay, one more question to you. Actually, every time I shared question to you, I
Hmm.
increase one level because of the capability or capability. Even
Okay. Yeah.
I take fourth level question in my system, so
Uh-huh.
I will now in fourth level.
Okay. Yeah. Like I've not seen you asking these sort of questions before.
Yes, it's a hard level. So in this question, this type of question, I will ask generally, like multinational companies like Apple, Microsoft, like this.
Okay. Which of these triggers temporal dead zone error? Okay. 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 So where is not going to go into the temporal dead zone when we are defining it with a let variable. So we've defined it, and before the declaration we are accessing it. So it's there hoisted, but it is in the temporal dead zone. So A would be the answer for this.
Mm, yes, correct. You're saying. Okay, that simple one I have asked now. Which one? This one is much simple. I
Yeah.
just shared.
Okay. So console.log. Okay, we have 0.1, and yeah, that's like a gotcha question. So it will not be equal. It will be false.
Yeah, that is the last question I just shared.
Okay.
Okay, can you check one more question I have?
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Is used for okay. Consider, yeah, that's used for locale aware string comparisons. So C would be the answer for this.
Yes, correct. Okay, start with the theoretical one.
Hmm.
Uh, can you deep dive into micro tasks and macro tasks with example like mixing, set timeout, promise, and queue micro tasks, all three?
Sure, sure, sure. Okay. So, like an example for macro task, and like how it interacts. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's write. Okay. So, firstly, what are the things that are coming in task queue? So I
Mm-hmm.
prefer to call it task and micro task queue.
Mm-hmm.
So task queue is basically all the set timeout and set interval. All these operations will go into the task queue,
Mm-hmm.
and the micro task queue will have like a higher precedence than the task queue, and that will contain actions like promises, fetch, and all these sort of operations will go into the uh, micro task queue.
Micro task.
Okay, so what ends up happening is, let's say, okay, I'll do console.log, and let's just say a, and then let's say promise dot, it would be promise dot, I'm forgetting the syntax, so we'll get resolve, and let's check, let's keep it short, okay, or I can just simply resolve it, no, promise dot resolve with the value, okay. I can maybe do console.log p, okay, and then I do set timeout. This will have a callback function. We can see, and let's give it a 0 millisecond delay, and then we can do console.log d. Okay, so basically what's going to happen is, so the first console will get triggered, which is a, and then it's going to come to line number 3, so it's going to resolve the promise. So this promise is going to go into the micro task queue, then it's going to come to line number 5, it's going to put the set timeout function in the task queue, and then it's going to come to line 7 and it will trigger d. So we have, up till now we have a and d in
Mm-hmm.
the console. Now it has two options, so one task is in micro task and the other task is in task queue. So since micro task has a higher precedence,
Mm-hmm.
it is going to resolve the promise first, that gets into the callback function, gets triggered, it's going to log it, and then the task queue item is going to go into the call stack and it's going to log C. So it will be A, D, B, C.
Yes, correct. Okay. Explain prototype inheritance.
So in JavaScript, basically everything is an object
Mm-hmm.
underlined. So all the objects have a proto attribute inside them. So for example, let's say I'm doing uh, let's say const A equals to a string. Now if I do a dot split, I'm able to split using the string functionality, but I did not declare it anywhere. So what actually is happening in the background is that A is actually inheriting all the attributes from string. So if we look at the A object and go inside the proto, we'll see that the entire string class is there in the proto, and we have all the functionalities of the string class. So that is the concept of prototype inheritance, and this is how the different data structures get taken by the value of the variables which we define.
So can we use same thing in class syntax?
Can we class syntax? So if we are defining a class will have a proto of yeah, class will have a proto of function basically, and function also has a proto of function, and behind the function again it will have proto. So it's like a nesting structure that JavaScript
Mm-hmm.
has.
Yes, correct. Okay. How does stick mode change JavaScript semantics?
Okay, strict mode.
Hmm.
Okay. So strict mode has a couple of effects. So basically, implicit globals, for example, in strict mode, like in general, you get this reference error kind of a thing. But in
Yes.
strict mode, it is possible in strict mode only. Otherwise, it's going to behave differently. Similarly,
Hmm. Any
let's
any
say
any real scenario why we use strict mode and why we don't use strict mode?
I think using strict mode will help us to prevent a lot of things on a syntax level itself, and also catch a lot of bugs, which will help us to develop a more robust application.
Yes. Okay. Explain debouncing and throttling.
Okay, so debouncing and throttling both have like used on a like for optimization. So basically, debouncing, what it is going to do is, let's say I'm triggering a function. So I've triggered a function, and then it is going to wait for a certain amount of time before triggering it again. So if I try to trigger it before that time interval, it is going to reset that timer and then again wait for that particular time. The use case of it would be like, for example, if I'm trying to search something on Google, so I may be typing Arham. So in the backend, we do not want the fetch API to call A and then AR and then ARH. So we can just wait for the user to type everything and then trigger a fetch API response. So for those sort of scenarios, we use debouncing. Throttling is basically preventing API calls or like any action in a certain interval. So, for example, if I defined an interval of 1 second in throttling, so in that 1 second period, I can only trigger the function once. Then I can try to trigger it number of times. It is not going to trigger it again. And then after 1 second, another interval will be there, and inside it, I can again execute it once. So this is kind of like a structure which is like a rate limiting kind of thing where you can implement throttling.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, just give me 1 second. Then I will ask the logical one question. For example, you have a nested array, like 3 time nested array.
Hmm.
Every element of array is number. Okay,
Okay.
I need to sum all these things.
Okay. So I have a nesting array, and all the array elements are numbers, and basically I need to return the sum of all the items.
Yes.
Okay.
How do you do? Did you do?
Uh, the logic would be very much similar to flattening the array only. So
Flat.
what I'm
Flat is not required. Don't use flat method.
No, no, I won't use
Mm-hmm.
flat. What I'm thinking is I can recursive, like create a function,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like flatten array, and
Mm-hmm.
then as long as I'm finding an array, I have to recursively call that function again to fetch the internal values of it, and then we can have a global value called maybe sum, and then I
Mm-hmm.
keep appending all those values inside the sum.
Can you do
So
it?
yeah, sure. The function sum nested. Okay. Maybe some instead. I like the arrow function more.
Yeah, that is everyone as of now use
Yeah.
arrow.
So I will be given an array. Okay. And then I need to. Okay. So first I have to iterate through the items. So what we can do is for let arr of, sorry, this would be item of arr. Okay. And then we need to check. So we can use the array dot is array function. This will take the item. So if it is an array, that means we have further nesting. So we need to call the function again. So we can do some nested, and then we have to pass the item to it. Okay. And let's say we have a result value. Okay. If it is not an array, so else it is a number, then in that case we can do result plus equals the item. Okay, so I have the array, I pass it, keep nesting it. Okay, yeah. So let me just dry run it first. So if I'm giving it 1, 2, 3, so what's going to happen? It's going to go, all of them are going to go into the else, and then okay, I should just trigger this up ahead, and then I need to log the result. Okay, so I should have 6 in this case. Okay, should I run and see?
Yes, yes, you can run.
Okay, and now let's say I have another nesting array inside this. Maybe 1, 2, 3 again. So this should give me 6 plus 6. So this should be 12. Okay, and let's just add another nesting inside this. 1, 2, 3. So this should give 18. Yeah, this is working
Yes,
fine.
yeah, yes, correct. Okay, my next logical question is, if you have any word like uh, I love React. If you
Okay.
have any word, so
Mhm.
I need to reverse that word. React love I.
Okay. So I love React is what we have.
Hmm.
And the expected output would be, okay, we are not, okay, we are saying react love I. Okay,
Yes,
so we are keeping the words the same, but we are reversing the sequence. Okay.
sequence. Yeah.
Okay, so what I am thinking is that we first use split and get all the words in an array.
Yes.
So in this case, we will have an array of 3 items in which index 0 I'll have I, then love, and then react. And then I can iterate through the array, and I can create a string which will have the reverse order. So either I traverse the array in the reverse order, or I can append the result in the reverse order. Both will work. Yeah, okay. So let's
That the
try.
sentence would be anything. It's not same. I
Hmm.
can also increase some.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this array would be word dot split. We're splitting with space. Okay, now inside this we would have now I have an array. Now I need to traverse through the array and then get the result. Okay, so if we do result, okay, and I need to iterate through the array. So let word of ARR. Okay, so I need to append it in the result order, reverse order. So I can do result equals to word, and then I do result. So first I'll get I do I plus empty. Okay, then I get love, so I do love plus this. So okay, and then react. Okay. So if I do console.log, okay, I need to add the spacing as well. So you can do every time I'm adding a word, I should be adding a space with it as well. Okay. Hmm. So we can have a space and then the word. So if this is what we are doing, this should be fine. But then I'll
Yes.
have another space in the beginning that is not required. Either I join it in the array itself. Yeah, I can simplify it by saying, okay, so I was saying, mm, I'm not sure when you got disconnected, but I was thinking instead of going through this approach, I have an array. So what I'm going to do is
That
I'm going
is
to
very much simple. That is very much
okay,
simple.
I like, yeah, I
Hmm.
could reverse it and then do it. Okay, you
Yes.
want me to do it logically, is it?
Mhm.
Okay, I'll make the change and I'll see what we can do. Because the currently the issue is we have an additional space, so we need to make sure that okay,
Uh,
okay, I can simply have an extra space. I can trim it. Ah, perfect.
yes, correct. Okay, okay. Let me move to the React part. Actually, I asked three JavaScript question, logical question. Whenever the two is correct, then I will not ask third one. Okay,
Okay.
that's okay. Okay, start with multiple choice question to React. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I just shared to you. Check, please check.
Which hook state update is lazy initialized only once? Okay. Lazy initialized. Okay. So when it comes to use state, okay, I have a function in initialization. Okay. Use effect, use memo, use reducer. Okay. Which hook state update is lazily okay? We're talking about state update. So when it comes to use effect, it gets re-triggered, but that is on the dependency. Use state gets okay, and use memo, use reducer. So use effect will have dependency, use memo will have dependency. Reducer shouldn't be the answer, I think. Is it B?
Yeah, is it B? But I want to know why.
So what I'm thinking is when it comes to like state update, so
Hmm.
hooks state update. So use effect is not like doing any sort of state update. It's basically re-triggering itself. So that is dependent on the dependency array. Similarly, use memo is going to recalculate the values based on the dependency array. So those two don't have much in terms of hook state
Hmm.
update. And use reducer will not do anything lazily. It gets it changes the value instantaneously.
Yes, that's
So
why I
that's why
used
I'm just
it.
doing the process of elimination and selecting the
Yes, that's correct. Okay, one more question I have shared to you.
the use layout effect guarantees and use effect does not. Okay, so basically the difference between use layout effect and use effect would be that use effect is going to get triggered after the changes have been done in the DOM and they are reflecting, whereas use layout effect will trigger right before they start reflecting. So let me look at the options. Server side rendering compatibility. Okay, runs after DOM mutation but before paint. Okay, so okay, and runs before DOM mutation. Okay, so paint before the paint. B would be the answer.
Yes, correct. One more question I just shared.
Multiple. Okay, what is steering? Okay, multiple routes, reading inconsistent state between vendors, case condition and suspense, aborted iteration, concurrent mode. I'm not sure about this. Not
Okay,
heard about tearing actually.
that's a
Yeah.
tearing. Okay, it's
Uh,
B. It's B.
okay.
Okay,
Okay.
next one is this. Yeah, that one.
Okay, which method of React DOM is used for iteration for server components in React 18? Okay, React 19 has server side components. React 18 doesn't have. So which method of React DOM is used for hydration? Okay, we are talking about hydration of server components. Okay, so no, I think it's hydrate B.
No, it's hydrate root.
Okay, so we're going to do the hydration on a
Hmm.
root level. So yeah, hydrate root. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
this next question I just pasted.
Okay, when using React.memo, how do you customize the props comparison? Okay. Okay, pass a custom article function. Second argument, override should component update. Okay, and then use call mark use ref. So we're using React.memo and we need to customize the props comparison inside React.memo. How do you customize the props? Pass a custom recall function or second argument. Okay, that's going to iterate through the props and check for the customer. Like, okay, I think it should be A. We
Yeah,
should pass a custom. Yeah.
yes, correct. Okay, one more question I just shared. This is simple one, that's why I have not shared the options.
Okay. What happens if you call set state inside use effect without a dependency array? So if use effect doesn't have dependency array, then it's going to basically re-trigger after any state change on mount as well and on unmount. So it's going to do everything. At every instance, it's going to get triggered. Now, if I'm doing a set state, so use effect gets called and I'm setting a state that is triggering a re-render, then again use effect. So it's going to go into an infinite loop.
Yes, correct. Okay, one more question I just shared.
Which of these is not a valid reason to use? Okay, so use imperative handle is basically going to give me additional functionalities on a ref level, so I can expose custom functions or custom functionalities inside the child component, which could be accessed by the parent if the parent has the ref. Okay, so expose imperative methods to parent. Which of these is not valid? I think A is, yeah, A is something valid. Modify DOM layout directly. Okay, replace context API, forward refs with custom API. Okay, everything is looking correct to me. Forward ref with custom API. Okay, replace context API. We shouldn't replace modify DOM layout directly inside the use imperative handle. If we have a function that does that, then that is fine. I think C, replace context API.
Yeah, that is the only which is not valid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, okay. Okay, I have shared one more.
Okay. Okay, for expensive UI updates. Okay, so we this would be with respect to React 19.
Hmm.
So this would be basically with respect to how can you prioritize and deprioritize different DOM changes or like state changes. So use transition is going to help that, but use deferred value is also there. So you we use transition to like give that detail to React that this is like something low priority. You can like, and then which start and stop transition. Okay, so stop for expensive UI updates. So deferred value will give us that value by the time it's not. Okay, So what is allowing me to start and stop the transition? It's B use deferred value.
No, it's a use transition.
But
It's
okay, so
related to start stop transition. It's a new hook
okay.
introduced React 19.
Yeah, okay, okay, okay.
Okay, yeah. The last multiple choice question I just shared.
If a component throws during rendering and no error boundary is present, what occurs? Okay, only that component unmounts, the entire React tree unmounts, error is ignored. So if I get an error and I'm not catching that error at any level, it's going to basically crash the application itself, throwing the error. So unmounting is not something that's going to. I think the browser will crash because we're not catching the error, I guess.
Mm, yeah, it's B. The entire reactory unmounts.
I mean, it will happen
Mm-hmm.
eventually because we are not catching the error. But then at the same time, I feel the app itself will crash because you have an error that you're not handling on an
Yeah,
application level.
that is also correct, I
Yeah.
think. Okay, let's move to the theoretical one. Okay, what is the React Fiber?
React Fiber. Okay, so that is basically something new that has been introduced in React 19.
Mm-hmm.
So previously, the issue was that when DOM was updating,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you have some expensive operations and then you have changes in the DOM. So it used to do things sequentially. So even if it is expensive, you are basically um, pausing everything else and updating the DOM. So that was creating like slowness in the platform. So React Fiber is basically delegating the operations according to the priority. So let's say, like if I give a very simple example of a chef, so a chef is going to create like in the old React, a chef is going to complete one dish and then go to the next dish. But in the new architecture, what's going to happen is the chef is going to simultaneously prepare multiple dishes depending on the priority, and some might finish earlier, some might finish later, depending on what's the priority of that dish.
Yeah, this is also the part of reconciliation.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. How pure function work?
So pure function is basically a function which will always give you the same output when you give it the
Mm.
same arguments. So that is the basic definition of it. It's used in JavaScript as well as React. So in React, you can like create dumb components. So in that scenario, you'll always get the same UI or the same output.
Any any built-in pure function in your mind? Which one is?
Built in. So I think all the maths function that are existing, for example, math.max. So if you are giving it an array of let's say 1 2 3, it's always going to
Mhm.
give you 3 no matter what happens. So that's a pure function.
Okay. Create a custom hook.
Okay. So basically, the need for custom hook. So for example, let's say we we have a component, and
Mhm.
inside the component we are fetching some data. So we will be having a loader state as well as the data as well. So what we are going to do is we maybe have use effect. Inside the use effect, we'll fetch the data. So we are going to set the loader and then unset it. So all these things are something which would be utilized in multiple places in the repository. So what we can do is we can create custom hooks that can expose those functionalities, and instead of writing these things again and again, we can reuse them. So that is going to reduce the boilerplate code as well as ke- keep it easy to maintain the code as well.
Yes. Can you give me some
Yeah,
example?
yeah,
How do we create
I can
any?
give you an example of the loader only. So how the
Mhm.
loader state and the fetch API would work in a custom hook logic.
Yes.
So we will have a couple of things, right? So one would be the loading state. Okay, so let's say I have okay, so this would be okay. So let's just say this is like a file, maybe use fetch.js. Okay, inside this file I'll have some imports as well. So let me write a function. This function will be giving me that use fetch hook, and so initial URL. So what am I hitting, and then what am I doing, which is initial maybe operation. Okay, and then okay, now inside this we will have a URL, set URL, and then data, set data, and then error. Okay, so we'll have multiple states. So we will have use state. Let me just write it multiple times. Command shift option. Okay. Okay, so one would be URL, set URL. Then we would need data, set data. We would have error, set error. We would have loading, then set loading. Okay, so the for this our initial be initial URL. Okay, and for this data we would have null. Keep this as null as well. Loading initially we will keep it as false. Okay. Um, Now what do we need to do? We need to add in the fetch. So let's just say we do fetch. Now use call back. Then we can have an asynchronous function inside this, or okay, that's going to be very big. Okay, I'll just give a glimpse of this. Will have the fetching part, and then inside this we will be uh, setting the loader fetch part, and then unset the loader, and then also we will set the data as well here. And then once this is done, at the end we are going to return all the things that are required for us. For example, we would require data. If there is an error, we would add error. We would add loading. If maybe we need a refetch, so we can add the refetch as well. And yeah, so basically what's going to happen is if someone wants to utilize this in
Hmm.
their component, they can just simply import it and just call it as use fetch, and give all the values that they require, and then maybe restructure it here. So if let's say they need data and loader error, so they can directly have these values. This is how it will have a basic functionality.
Yes, correct. Okay, one more question. What is the purpose of key in the list of React element?
Okay, so basically, key is used to uniquely identify the items in a list. So, for example, let's say I have a list of 10 items and I change the state of fifth item. So that fifth item has to re-render. So what React is going to do is inside the virtual DOM, React will be easily able to identify, okay, this is the list because of the key, and it can update that. Let's say I do not provide the key. So what's going to happen is that React knows that some change happened in the list, but it's not able to identify which item actually changed. So it's going to re-render the entire list because it's not able to find it. So that's becomes like unoptimized or inefficient way of doing things. So basically, React would know which item to re-render. That's the main use case of the key.
Yes. Have you worked Redux also?
Yeah, I've worked with Redux.
Can you Can you give me some architecture knowledge, how the architecture work in
Yeah.
Redux?
So there will be a couple of things. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll go step by step. So we'll have the store. We will have action. We will have
Redux toolkit, or is you are using simple
no.
Redux?
I'm using simple Redux.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we will have dispatch function. Okay, and then we will have the option to subscribe as well. So these are the main things that we have in Redux. So store is basically the global place where all the states would be stored. Action is something which is used by Redux to basically tell what the change is. So inside the action, you will have the type as well as the payload. So payload, inside the payload, you can pass the data, and inside the type, you can say like update, create, delete. What is the action that is happening? The reducer is basically going to take that action and then actually update the state and return the updated state. And dispatch function is something which we will be using inside the component to actually trigger the use reducer with the action. So inside the dispatch function, I'll give the action as to add or something, or whatever the action is with the payload data, and then that action is going to trigger the reducer, and the states will get updated, and then it will get reflected on the UI.
Okay. Which one is a pure function in this
Pure
in
function.
in this file?
Uh, hmm. So I think action is always returning the type and the payload. Okay, and reducer is changing and returning. So that is returning an object, and that object reference is going to change every time. So reducer is definitely not pure function. Dispatch function, I think action would be the pure function in this.
No, actually, reducer is the only one is the pure function,
Okay.
because sometime action gives similar value, so they will
Hmm.
not check. They directly say
Okay.
the same value to
Got
the
it.
store. The reducer is a
Mm-hmm.
pure function. So,
Got it.
what are the three core principle of Redux?
Three core principles of Redux.
Yes, have you heard about it?
Okay. Hmm. Okay, one would be like basically with respect to the store only, that you will always have a single source of truth. That would be
Yes.
one thing. The second thing would be that the states are read only. You cannot update the states. Only the reducer has the capability to make changes to the state, and that too, state is immutable. Reducer is not changing the state. Basically, it's going to create a new copy and
Hmm.
then add your changes and then return a new state. So that state is not getting changed. Only the new object is getting created to replace it. And then I'm not sure about the third one, but yeah, these two are definitely there.
Okay, no problem. Okay, have you worked Node.js also?
Little bit, yeah, yeah. I've worked with Node.js.
Can you give me some two, three built-in middleware
Okay, a built-in middleware for the
example?
Node.js.
Node.js. Any three example?
Okay, so let me think. Okay, mm, I okay. So it could be. I've worked with Express actually in
Mm-hmm.
Node.js behind. So inside Express, you have a capability to parse the JSON. So you can write express.json. That is going to help you parse the JSON. Apart from that, if you want to serve static files, you have express.static method as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Two is there.
and and if you want to like parse a plain text field, then you can do express.text for that.
Yeah, express.encode URL also, encoded URL. These things.
You have
Okay. So you use Express and Mongo. Have you have?
Express. I've not worked with Mongo. I've like current database
Mhm.
is like an SQL database, so we have Postgres in that. So I've
Okay.
worked with
So you are
Postgres.
you are using Node also in your current
Yeah, yeah.
organization. Yeah, that's
Not to that extent, but I'm very like proactive, so learning things, so I know about everything
okay.
mostly.
Basically, you are in front end
Yeah,
in
mostly
current.
majority of my work is in on the front end, but I'm trying to understand the back end, how things are working, so I have the knowledge of that as well.
Okay, that's good. So interview is completed according to me. You are very good as per your experience. Detailed feedback and all I will share over a mail.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Aram.
Thank you.